What is up, YouTube? This is Nanashi of Team Rogue West Virginia coming out with my first deck profile video in a while. This is my purple deck, known as my Heraldic Beasts. I call it the Life deck. Now, this deck is not what I would consider linear, it's not what I would consider a helmet deck. It does have repetitive moves, and it does make it a bit annoying for certain people, but I mainly use it against players who run decks that exceeds a little too much, or that have the same namesake of cards, such as Cyber Dragons, or, better yet, Harpies. Specifically the Cyber Dragons, because of what's coming out next formats. I think we all know what I'm talking about. Let's take a look here. To start off with, we have 3 copies of a monster known as Heraldic Beast Conway, Twitty. This guy is very useful. When there is 2 copies of him in the graveyard, you can banish 1 to add a Heraldic Beast that's already in the grave back to your hand. Except himself, of course. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It does include himself. Shows how long it's been since I played this deck, huh? After that, we also have 3 copies of a monster called Heraldic Beast Bane. This guy's actually pretty useful. You can drop a Heraldic Beast monster from your hand to the grave and special summon him from your hand, and you can also discard a Heraldic Beast from your hand to boost his attack by 800 for the turn. Good way to set up grave combos. Up next, we have Heraldic Beast YuGiOh, 3 copies. If you control 2 or more Heraldic Beast monsters, you can special summon this guy from your hand. Makes it easy to go into that rank 4 that requires 3, you know what I mean? Then we get to Heraldic Beast YuGiOh, 3 copies. He is the heart and soul of the deck, as well as having the highest original attack out of any of them. Also, his added bonus is that at the end of the turn when he's normal summoned, he self-destructs. And when he is sent to the grave, not if, you add a Heraldic Beast monster from your deck to your hand, except himself, which means that he cannot miss timing very easily. He is honestly the most important component, and you want to get him into the graveyard as fast as possible. Up next, we also have 3 copies of Heraldic Beast Twin-Headed Eagle. When this card's in the grave, you can banish it to target a Face of Xyz monster with no materials, and add 2 Heraldic Beast monsters from your grave to it as materials. But this effect can only be used once per turn. Good way to reload if you have those important Xyz monsters you want to abuse again. And now we move into Heraldic Beast Unicorn. 3 copies, of course. When he's in the graveyard, you can banish him to target a Psychic-type Xyz monster in your grave. Does not have to be heraldry related. You can banish him to special summon it, but its effects are negated while it's on the field. And, of course, only 1 shot per turn. Easy to get that re-rank if you need to bring out that rank 5 annoying little you-know-what. Now we move into the spells, starting with 2 copies of Advanced Heraldry Art. Target 2 Heraldic Beast monsters in the grave, special summon them both, and immediately Xyz summon using them. Doesn't matter what monster you Xyz summon as long as it's appropriate. Very handy. Did not like it 3 though. Next we have their Field Spell, which is Augmented Heraldry, an annoying card for many people. Psychic Xyz monsters on the field can't be targeted by spell trap effects, which all the Heraldic-related Xyz monsters are psychic, which comes in handy. And once per turn, you can discard a Heraldic Beast monster and add a Heraldry spell trap from your deck to your hand except the field spell. But when you do this, you can't normally special summon monsters except Psychic Xyz monsters and Heraldic Beast monsters, even after this guy leaves the field. Easy way to set up your YuGiOh plays and get your hands on Advanced Heraldry Art or any of the other Heraldry spell traps. And then we get to Heraldry Reborn, 2 copies. Basically, Monster Reborn for the deck. Target a Heraldic Beast in the grave and special summon it. Means you can't use it on the Xyz, but since you got Unicorn, why would you want to? And then you go into some generic staple cards. Examples include 2 copies of Dark Hole, 1 copy of Foolish Burial, mainly for YuGiOh plays, but can be used otherwhere. And in 2 MSTs, obvious, and 2 Terraforming for that really, really annoying field spell that a lot of people hate. Moving into the trap cards, we have 2 copies of Heraldry Change. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you special summon Heraldic Beast from your hand, and then you end the battle phase. Handy if you have a bunch of those ones that can't special summon and you don't have a way to get them out faster. And then we get into the staple-ish traps, starting of course with 1 copy of Bottomless, 2 copies of Fiendish Chain, 1 copy of Mirror Force, 1 copy of Torrential, and 1 copy of Vanities. I basically run these as well as the other staple spells in the majority of my decks, so it'll probably be very, very monotonous after a while. And now we get to my extra deck, which includes 2 copies of number 8 Heraldic King Genome Heritage. 2 level 4 Heraldic Beasts, of course. Once returned, you target a face of Xyz monster on the opponent's side. His name and attack become the same as that monster. That monster goes to 0, and that means that as long as he keeps that effect, which is until the end phase of that turn, he can use the Xyz monster's effect. Handy to use on cards like Exciton Knights, Dante, and Cyber Dragon Infinity, if you can pull it off. Then we get to one of the more important ones, being number 18, Heraldry Patriarch. 2 level 4s is generic. Once per chain, during either player's turn, if 2 or more monsters with the same name are on the field, you detach a material, choose one of them, and destroy the others. And then, neither player can summon a monster of that name. Good to use against Cyber Dragons or Harpie Ladies, or an Xyz monster that you copied with Genome Heritage. And then, if this guy would happen to die, you can drop 2 Heraldic Beasts from your deck to the grave. Another great way to accelerate into your graveyard plays. Then we get into everyone's favorite monster, number 69, Heraldry Crest. Requires 3 level 4s, is generic. When he's special summoned, all other face of Xyz monsters on the field are negated. And you target another face of Xyz monster on the field, and until the end phase, he becomes the name and original effect of that monster. He keeps his original attack, though. So, he can detach for any effect, and with 3 materials, he can go for a while. Oh, but wait, there's also his upgrade. Heraldry Crest of Horror. 4 level 5s, or you can use a rank-up spell if you feel the need. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, all their cards are destroyed. It's hilarious when you force them into an attack position. And if he has Heraldry Crest attached, you can also detach a material, target a face of Xyz opponent controls. He gains attack equal to it, and then, if it does, his name becomes that monster's, and it gains that monster's effect. It is quite powerful. Now, as you can imagine, Heraldic Beasts don't exactly have a very heavy extra deck, so I found a couple of random cards to tech in the meantime until I can find something better. Starting with 1 copy of Diamond Dire Wolf, 2 level 4s, and since half the deck is Beast, it fits their archetype perfectly. 1 number 844 Sky Pegasus. Forces the opponent to make some rough decisions, which is always funny. And my personal favorite being Bujinki Amateras. 3 level 4s, and you detach a material on your turn to target a banished level 4 lower monster and special summon it, or during your opponent's turn, you target a banished level 4 lower monster and add it to your hand. Obviously, you can see where this would come in handy. I've had multiple instances where this card has saved my butt from the fire. And then finally we get to the side deck. Don't really use it much, it's mainly for cards I don't keep in the main in case I need them, but here we go. 2 copies of Heraldic Beast Basilisk. If it's attacked, after damage calc, you destroy that monster. Heraldic Beast Burner Spellkin. If it's summoned, you make all face-up level 5 or higher monsters you control become 4. Not really a valid card, just an extra card in case I needed the monsters. Another copy of Heraldry Reborn and Advanced Heraldry Art. 2 copies of Rank Up Magic Barion's Force, because I need to get into that rank 5 sometimes. 1 compulsory, 2, 3 Heraldry Record, a 3rd copy of Heraldry Change. Heraldry Record actually has a fun effect that can sometimes coincide. It stops Xyz monsters and doesn't have requirements. Handy. And 2 copies of Memory Loss, what I consider to be the cheap man's breakthrough skill. A very handy card to have if an attack precision monster activates its effects, it switches to defense mode, and its effects negated. Funny. And that is Heraldic Beast in a nutshell, or at least my version. If you like the deck, give me a little thumbs up, or a shouty shout or something. If you don't, I understand, not exactly the greatest deck in the world, it's more something I play for fun or for specifics. See you around for the next video!